Hello everybody. LS, Marta, Donda. Hello. Donda. Oh, jump to it. Natasha, Carol, Sue, Cheryl. How you doing? Not a bad hair day today. How's life, everybody? Barbie. Hey, Barbie. Linda, Doreen. How you doing? I'm using the new app for the very first time. Oh, what could possibly go wrong? Welcome to San Pedro de Alcantara. Barbie, it looks nice here. It's alright. It's not the most salubrious of places, shall we say. That's alright. This is a brand new boulevard here. Brand new boulevard. This was just getting made. The last time I was here, this was just getting made. Hey, KZ. Welcome. Right, watch out. There's people here who have never seen this type of thing going on before, and they think I'm slightly dodgy. Welcome to San Pedro. I'm just west of Marbella. Hey, Karen. This is called the San Pedro Boulevard. I'm going to walk across the bridge. This is the first time I've used the new app, by the way. So hopefully the signal won't go too badly wrong. It's quite a nice... Hey, Karen. Karen, how you doing? Claire, welcome. Yeah. Very nice. Let's go for a walk up the bridge. They actually built a tunnel underneath here. When I lived here in... what year was it? This was getting built. Hello, Linda. Rebecca. Welcome to San Pedro de Alcantara. Hello, how is my arm feeling? Still a little bit sore, to be honest. Yeah, this is the beaches down here. The beach is down here. We're going to go down to the beach. San Pedro itself, the town is over here. This boulevard, it's kind of in the middle. Yeah, the traffic problems here used to be horrendous. And there used to be like major traffic jams coming from Marbella and Portobello. And this takes you down towards Estepona and Gibraltar. So on down that way. And it was a really, really bad traffic jam hotspot. So they started building a tunnel along here. And this boulevard as well. It's quite a wonky looking thing actually. You see the big mountain in the background there? That's La Concha. This is the first time I've used this app. Is anyone here for the first time? I think everyone's been here before. My hotel actually is just over here. Probably get to see it in a minute actually. How's everyone doing? Oh, who was on my tour last week when I fell? That was a belter. I've downloaded it and I'm going to edit it and then show it again. That's for children areas to play out. Karen, I'm showing it again. I've got it booked in a couple of weeks on a Saturday. So I'm going to show it again from home. But edit it down, so it was 2 tours. So I've edited it down into 1 tour. So I'll show it again just for a laugh. Hola, Natasha, ¿qué tal? ¿Qué pasa? Mi nombre es Paul. Lo siento, no hablar mucho español. ¿Es posible hablar más inglés, por favor? Casey, how you doing, Casey? How's Natasha doing as well? I'm a bit closer to you than what I normally am, Natasha. I'm in Spain, which is a bit closer to Greece than Edinburgh. Hey, Casey, how you doing? Nice to see you. To see you, nice. Good to see some Voyagers here. I know sometimes there's quite a bit of negativity on the Facebook Voyagers page, so it's good to see people here. See all these houses here, by the way. See this big building block here? This is actually illegal. They built these illegally. Oh, look, it's getting a bit higher up here, look. I'm actually scared of this bridge. I don't feel safe in it. It's quite a wonky looking thing, it goes up and down. It looks like Picasso has made it. Glad I am okay. Jill, hello everybody. Welcome to San Pedro de Alcantara. It's not a very touristy place, San Pedro, shall we say? Jill, Doreen, oh, thanks for leaving that up, by the way. Jill, how you doing, Jill? Casey, you made sure you didn't have a nap yet. That's the thing. People sign up for tours and then things happen, you know. I do it myself. Sometimes I sign up for tours and then, I fall asleep actually. It's one of the reasons I tend to miss tours, or I end up watching football or something like that. Well, am I okay? Well, I'm still sore. Yeah, I fell on the fire show. I fell on my right hand side and whacked my head and my arm and my leg and my back and my neck. But yeah, my right arm's still a bit sore. So I'm having to use two hands for the gimbal. So I'm going to show that again, the momentous moment. I actually swore. Nobody actually complained. I watched it back. You know, when I fell, I actually swore. I said the B word. And nobody said anything. Which is quite unusual, because usually people tell you when you've sworn. So see how it goes up and down this bridge. Jill, when did I arrive? What day is this? Excuse me, I arrived. Yeah, bikes are banned from here. See this typical Spanish ignoring the laws. I arrived late on Wednesday night. Late on Wednesday night I arrived here. So again, there's play areas everywhere for children. It's really family orientated, Spain. There's a playground here. There's another one along here. Another one here. There's another one along here. There's 3 playgrounds within walking distance of me. It's incredible for children here. Of course, the Spanish have got a different concept to people in England and Scotland as well. You know, we tend to live and work, or live to work. The Spanish work to live. They've got a much better attitude, much more family orientated as well. The Spanish. Very well looked after. Hey, Jeannie, how you doing, my good friend? There's Jeannie from Sussex, one of our long-time voyagers. Jeannie was actually here last year on Marbella. I'm in a slightly different area now, right enough. And Jeannie is now a virtual Heygo Tour guide as well. Natasha, did I remember to take sunscreen? No. I need to get vitamin D, man. If you don't get any vitamin D in Scotland, man, I need to get vitamin D. But yeah, I've got to watch for my sunburn right enough. But so we don't have anyone from Ireland here. Any Irish people here? Cheryl from Preston. How you doing? Welcome to San Pedro de Alcantara. Beautiful day today. It's 24 degrees now. I was just getting hassled when I started the tour. I started walking past some teenagers. Some teenage boys. They started shouting at me. Any reason for this? It's just the design. Any reason for the wavy bridge? It's just the way they've designed it. Picasso's from up the road, isn't he? Maybe they've used inspiration from Picasso. Malaga's just up the road. Yeah, it's a bit of a wonky bridge, like. It's up and down, and it actually doesn't feel very stable when you walk on it, for some reason. And it's very quiet, by the way. See, prior to Brexit, I mean, I know we've had COVID, which obviously had an effect on the area, but because of Brexit, there used to be a lot of English here. It's a very Spanish place, San Pedro, but there was lots of English and Scottish here. But honestly, it's like there's hardly any. I mean, this would normally be mobbed, heaving. Hola, ¿cómo está? Muy guapa, chica. Mi nombre es Paul. Soy de Escocia. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Edinburgh. I'm only kidding, I'm not in Edinburgh today. It's too sunny for Edinburgh. Hola, Paul. What are you cooking, Paula? I've been eating quite well once I've been here. La concha. Red beans. Oh, I'm going to go for dinner after this tour tonight. I've not made up my mind yet what I'm going to have for dinner. I've been eating mostly Spanish, although I did have some Indian last night. Hello, Deborah. Harvey, there's no sun. I'm in Edinburgh. I'm not in Edinburgh. You're not joking there. It's actually quite windy up on this bridge, actually, which quite reminds me of Edinburgh. It's not actually been windy at all here. Jill, Paul, how many years did I live in Spain? I've lived in Spain twice, actually. First time was about 3.5 years, and the second time was only for 6 months. I'll tell you about that once I get going. Christopher, Katharina, Beth, hello everybody. Jill, did you say you have been ill, Paul? No, I wasn't ill. It was just the fall from last week. I fell on last Saturday on the tour and whacked my right hand side, and just my right arm is a bit sore still. But yeah, I whacked my right hand side. The phone went flying, the gimbal went flying. My phone was soaking. Hey, Pauline! Welcome to San Pedro de Alcantara. There's my hotel up there. I'm just staying up there, just in that hotel on the left-hand side there. Hello, Holly. Linda from New York. How you doing, Linda? Nice to see some regulars here today. Neil and Holly as well. Nice to see you all. Yeah, that's my hotel here. It's actually very central. I mean, this is the centre, but I'm not going up San Pedro today. This is the old town of San Pedro. If you want to see San Pedro, please join me on Sunday. I've got a tour of San Pedro on Sunday afternoon. So yeah, if you want to see what San Pedro looks like, it's not much. It's only a little town. It's not even that old, actually. It's only been here since the 1850s. Cheryl, did I get a holiday or separate flights? That was separate flights. I've got 3 flights I had left from EasyJet from last year for holidays that got cancelled. So I changed to one of the EasyJet flights, and I just booked the hotel on booking.com. EasyJet transfer. Barking dogs is a problem in Spain. Here are the dogs barking. El perro. I used to be able to speak a little bit of Spanish. I'm trying to remember it. I used to be fluent in a restaurant. Hey everybody! Nearly time to get the tour started. Please bear in mind, everyone, I've got a good face for the radio. Hi everyone who's joining. Mandy, Helene, Christina, Joanna, Beata. Hi everybody. Welcome. Oh, my arm. I've got to keep on swapping my arm for the gimbal. I think you are very handsome. Trish, hello there. Trish, didn't see you joining there. How you doing? But like, slightly different weather today. It's a bit hotter than what I'm normally used to. It's about 24 degrees actually. Here we go, everyone. Woohoo! Welcome. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining my tour today. My name is Paul, and as you normally, some of you will probably know, I'm normally a tour guide in Edinburgh. Just in case there is anybody here for the first time, can you make yourself visible? Is there anybody here for the very first time? Do we have any first timers? My name is Paul, and normally I'm a tour guide in Edinburgh. James. How you doing, James? Oh, my arm. I have to keep on swapping my arms, everybody. James is here for the first time. Okay, James, in the middle of the screen at the bottom is a round white button. And if you press that, you take a postcard. I'll turn the screen round, okay? So if you take a postcard just now, you will take I know it's not a very nice postcard, but if you take a postcard of that just now, it's basically like a screenshot. And Heygo just last night actually said that you can now download them, bulk download them. I just joined at the end, so I missed it. And you can now post an image as well. And also at the top of the screen, is a follow button. If you follow that, and that follows my channel, because there's different ways you can help us. This is obviously a tip-based platform, and the only revenue we get is actually from you Voyagers. So if you can afford to leave a tip, please do so. If you cannot afford to leave a tip, one of the really good ways you can help us is by taking lots of postcards and sharing them on Facebook Voyagers or on social media, and tagging me, Paul James Stewart, as well. Add me as a friend on Facebook, Paul James Stewart, and also leaving a 5-star review is a great way to help us as well. Hello Annette, thank you everyone for joining. Welcome to Marbella. Cheryl, see, that's a good one. Thank you, James. That's another way you can help us is by sharing things for us as well. It's really cool. But thank you very much for joining my tour tonight. Welcome to San Pedro de Alcantara. As you can see, there's lots of play areas for children. It's actually supposed to be cordoned off, but the people are just ignoring it. See the tape on it. Casey, James, thank you for leaving a tip, everybody. 5-star always for me. And San Pedro Alcantara is a little town, mostly Spanish. Obviously, we're in Spain. We're on the Costa del Sol. However, yeah, thanks, Karen, for that. Paul James Stewart, add me as a friend on Facebook as well. And what we're doing here actually is this is a kind of strange thing for me to do today. It's a kind of different tour. I hope everyone's read the description, because this is Costa del Sol, Costa del Crime, and I done this last year and I got a review. The guy gave me a 4-star review or a 3-star review, but the guy said that I concentrated too much on the crime side of Marbella. Well, the title says Costa del Crime, Costa del Sol, and it's not so much about, it is a little bit about the crime in Costa del Sol, but it's also about my life here. Do you know how you get tour guides who they do tours, ask me anything from home and so on? Ask me anything. You know, I don't do that. I have been homeless between 12 and 15 times. I don't talk about it too much. I do talk sometimes about it, but I don't let it define any of my tours. But I have been homeless here in Spain 3 times as well. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about that as well. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to take some postcards on my tour, and they're going to hear a little bit about my life here in Spain. And if anybody has any questions, please type them in the chat. I'm not saying I can answer them for you, but I'll try. Deborah, you know you Dick Essa? Okay, yes, just down the road towards Estepona. So here we are. So you see these orange buildings here, actually, this used to be my house here. I used to live here. And these are actually on they used to be called Paddy'sville, because there was so many Irish people lived here. They're actually called Paddy'sville, believe it or not. During the 2000s, Irish people were given cheap mortgages, actually through the Bank of Scotland, believe it or not. The Bank of Scotland went in to Ireland and cut everybody off and gave like really high mortgages for everybody. And yes, so there was lots of Irish people bought these houses here, and I ended up living here. Quite nice actually. I think the rent was about €800. So we're just going to go down and show you where I used to live. We're going to go for a walk on the beach as well. We're in Malaga. I'll just turn this around actually. I arrived here. I live in Edinburgh normally, and I came to Malaga from Edinburgh on Wednesday evening. I'm in San Pedro. Hi everyone who's joining. I'm in Marbella, but a little town west of Marbella is called San Pedro de Alcantara. If you want to find out more about San Pedro, please join me on Sunday afternoon, and I'm going to do a little tour of San Pedro for you. I think it's 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. Check the calendar. And yeah, the flight's about 3 hours. Now, I came here last November and it took me 3 hours to get through Malaga Airport. The flight arrived during the day, but on Wednesday my flight arrived late at night, so we just breezed straight through the airport. So it wasn't too bad. But yeah, just going to turn it around actually. So this is an international school here. So you see this building here? This is an international school. And I used to live, I'm just going to cross over the road here. I used to live just here. So you see this apartment block here? I used to live here. Now, you've got to bear in mind, everyone, this is going to be quite an emotional tour for me. Because I'm getting all sorts of memories and flashbacks here. And this is where I used to live here. And as you can see, it's got about 3 swimming pools. Los Almenderos, the almonds, 2. So this used to be, they'll close the gate on me when I get there. I'll just see if I can. They've got a, so I'll just put this through here for you. So this house right up here, I used to live right there. That house right there, that was my house. And the swimming pool's right there. I used to overlook that swimming pool, and there's another 2 round the back as well. Beautiful house. I shared it with an English couple. Well, no, sorry, he was English and she was Swedish. Actually, the rent was €800 a month. But how did I get here? Well, it's very nice actually. Underground car parking. I think there's 3 or 4 swimming pools. Yeah, beautiful place to live. Like, I remember I was sitting on my balcony one day up there. I was working from home, right? And there was about 20 hot girls, like sunbathing by the pool in their bikinis and all that. And one of my friends messaged me, so why did you move to Spain? He's like, it's raining in Edinburgh, right? I'm sitting on my balcony overlooking all these bikini-clad hot models. And my friend's like, why did you move to Spain? Why do you think? So we're going to go for a little walk down the beach. It's not too far. It takes a few minutes to get down to the beach. I'm just going to show you. And you can actually, you know, the image for this tour actually, it's a picture of it's taken in a car mirror of the palm trees down here. So you see here, so that beach, the beach is just there. So how did I arrive here? Right, so what happened was in 2004, I launched Scotland's first cannabis cafe called the purplehazecafe.com. I had got left with a cafe by my ex-wife that I did not want, and the UK government decided to reclassify cannabis from Class B to Class C. So I owned a cafe called the Ocean Cafe, and on the day that they changed the law from cannabis to Class B to Class C, which meant it wasn't as dangerous, at this time you could still smoke tobacco in cafes, so I was the first business in Scotland to ban tobacco. But what I did do was I allowed you to bring cannabis instead. And I introduced vaporisers. I got arrested and fined £500. I only paid £50 of the fine. So after that, I bought a Volkswagen camper van and £1,000. And £1,000. Look at that here, look at this. I had £1,000 and a Volkswagen camper van. I'd separated from my ex-wife. My ex-wife had custody of my son, so I bought a one-way ticket to France. I left Scotland. The temperature is 24 degrees, somebody's asking. Yeah, I had £1,000 in a Volkswagen camper van, so I didn't know what to do. So I thought I'll just buy a one-way ticket and see what happens. And so yeah, I started driving across France and Europe. Travelled around for about 8 months, and it was getting down to winter time, November. And in November, the camper vans that travel around Europe, they tend to go to Morocco or the south of Spain in the winter, because obviously the further south you go. And so yeah, I went down to France. I got down to the bottom of France, and I did not know what to do. So I put the fate in the hand of a coin. I tossed a coin. Left was Monaco, where all the rich people were. I thought I'll go there, and that's where money is. You know, you go where the money is. And then right was to Morocco. And so I tossed a coin, and Morocco won. So I started heading down towards Morocco. And then what happened was I stopped in a place called Benalmádena, which is just after Malaga. I travelled all the way down to Malaga, fishing every night for my tea. I was trying to be ironic. The Spanish used to come and fish out Scottish waters, so I thought I'm going to go to Spain and try and catch the Spanish fish. So every night I stuck to the coast. So every night I fished for my tea on the coast. I only caught about fish 3 times, and he just barbecued them straight away and ate them. And then I ended up getting a job in Benalmádena as a cook in an English restaurant, and it was mostly microwaves actually. It was mostly microwaves, food and cooking. And the owner owned a restaurant as well as a pub, and so I told him I wasn't happy about using the microwave so much, and so he gave me a job as a cook in an English restaurant in Benalmádena called The Terrace. And then the English restaurant in Spain was horrific. It put me off working with Food for Life. They used to keep the raw food and the cooked food together. They would cook a steak pie and keep it for 3 weeks. They would make me reheat rice and give it to children. So my advice to you is don't eat in English restaurants in Spain. It put me off working with food for 20 years. And do you know what happened actually when I went back to Scotland a few years later? You know the Scottish chef Gordon Ramsay, who doesn't sound Scottish? He used to do these kitchen nightmares. And he done one in Spain. And do you know what? I was sitting in my house in Scotland not long after I got back from Spain, and there's Gordon Ramsay going into the English restaurant that I worked in. He did not do a full programme there. He just spoke to the English owner. But how mad is that? Excuse me, I've got a bad cough today. And yeah, and so what happened was one day, the head chef was English, and she knew how the fridges should be kept, you know. You don't keep cooked food and raw food together. So one day I was in, and it was really quiet, and so I decided to fix all the fridges and put them how they're supposed to be. And the head chef came in and told me, she went mad at me and told me to put the fridges back the way they were. And hi Esther, how you doing? And I said no. And so the English manager sacked me. And I said I was going to leave anyway. I says, because the way you're cooking the food, you're going to make me kill some children, pal. And I don't want that upon my head. So I left. Now you've got to bear in mind, living in a camper van sounds glamorous. There's all these big hashtags called van life. Van life and all this, you know. You've maybe seen them on YouTube. People make out it's a glamorous life. Well, it is a glamorous life if you've got money. And if you're not doing it by necessity, you're choosing to do that lifestyle. I lived in a Volkswagen camper van. I didn't have a toilet. There was no shower. And so keeping clean was a bit of a problem. You can have a strip wash in a van. You can do a strip wash and keep clean, you know. But I used to have to join gyms and swimming pools. I used to go to swimming pools as well. But once the hot season came in, right, what I used to do? I used to dress up as a tourist. I was living in my camper van, and I used to dress up as a tourist, like put a towel around my neck, wear shorts and flip-flops. And I just used to go into random hotels and use the facilities like the swimming pool, help myself to the self-service buffet. and so on. And you become very resourceful when you live in a camper van. And I ended up down near Gibraltar as well. And I used to end up in a smuggling operation from, from Gibraltar. Gibraltar's a British colony. It's half-price cigarettes and whiskey and fuel. And there's cigarette smuggling operations go on. And there's different ways you can do it. Legally, you're only allowed to take back one packet of cigarettes from Gibraltar into Spain, right? But if you go in, you can choose to go in 10 times a day, but it'll take you all day to go in. Or you can go in one journey and try and take 10 packets back. So I used to go into Gibraltar quite regular for diesel. It was half price. And English milk, there was a Safeways there. And what I done one day, I had a suitcase full of my clothes. I was going back to Scotland every couple of months to see my son. And I had a suitcase full of clothes that I would take to the laundrette. And you know what I'd done? I went in to Gibraltar and I filled my suitcase filled with like 20 cartons of cigarettes. And when you get pulled in Gibraltar, you get pulled by the Spanish customs going out and you just get a quick search. Or sometimes they pull you in to get a heavy search. And so they pulled me in to get a heavy search. And he's like, oh, where are you from? I says, Scotland. Ah, whiskey. Whiskey, you must have whiskey. They thought I was smuggling back whiskey. And I'm like, no, me no like whiskey, amigo. And you know what? They searched my van, right? And they did not search my suitcase where all the fags were. So that gave me an idea. I started smuggling back loads of fags in my suitcase. And what I would do is I would smuggle the cigarettes into Spain, right? And when you get into Spain, you go back to Scotland, right? They don't know that you've got these cigarettes from Gibraltar duty free. And they were at the time they were £10 a carton. And I could sell them for £35 back in Scotland. So I used to smuggle the cigarettes back from Gibraltar. And then sell them in Scotland. And there was also there was a smuggling operation going on with an Irish guy. There was an Irish guy who had a smuggling operation. That's where we are down on the beach now. And this Irish guy had a furniture removal van, a big massive furniture van. It was like a big massive one, but inside it was a house. He used to live in it. The back of the van was a house. And they had the whole van, the whole back was like false walls, false ceilings, false floors. And he would pay you €3 for each carton of cigarettes that you smuggle back for him. So I was doing that for quite a while as well. You have to become quite resourceful when you live in a camper van and got not much money, you know. Yeah, it's a good business actually. Ooh. Topless girl there on the beach. Don't want to have my camera on her, she might think I'm pervert on her. So here we are down on the beach, look at this. Everyone. So yeah, so you get up to all sorts when you have to survive. So there's Marbella over there. We're going to be taking a boat trip actually. Yeah, it's not the best beach down here, Linda. It's a nice breeze. Hey everyone. There's a girl sunbathing down there, topless, I don't want to. Yeah, it's not the most, it's not the nicest of beaches here. But it's alright, it's nice for walking and cycling along the promenade. There's some nice chiringuitos and restaurants along here as well. You can actually walk along. Portabanús is here along here as well. Portabanús is there, Marbella's over there. So if you join me on Monday, we're going to be doing a boat trip. So this is San Pedro de Alcantara. This is the playa, the beach of San Pedro de Alcantara. Oh, they've got a Swedish flag up there, look. Wonder why they've got... Oh, it's just all different flags. They've got a Canadian one. Now look, Barbie, there's a Canadian flag and the Ukrainian one. Moroccan, EU one. Look. Anyone from Sweden? Let's see what the zoom's like for getting in on Marbella. Sorry, God. Let's see. How close we get in on Marbella? This is the first time I've used this app. Oh, thanks, Cheryl. So you have to keep on moving the phone down. Each time you zoom in, you have to move the phone. It's not going to get much better, is it? That's it now. So yeah, there's Marbella across there. So yeah, join me on Monday. So it's nice. This is where I used to live here. So what happened then was, right, I ended up getting involved in a hashish smuggling operation. You can see here we've got a flag of Morocco. And what I done was, I met an American guy. Well, I met these guys outside Gibraltar, right, when I was doing my cigarette smuggling. And they used to disappear into Gibraltar every day. And I asked them one day where they were going. And they said, oh, we're going to the soup kitchen in the church. I said, soup kitchen? I said, what are you on about? I still had money at this point. I still had about £700 left. And they went to a soup kitchen, right? It was a Friday. And the soup kitchen was in a church, a Catholic church in Gibraltar. And you know what? It was a very humbling experience. I went into the soup kitchen just to keep the guys company. And you know what? They fed me, right? And because it was a Friday, they never asked me what I was doing or who I was. They just fed me. They just gave me food, right? And because it was a Friday, it was the weekend, and you got a bag of messages as well. You got a bag of shopping. You got a bag of shopping as well. And so they gave me a bag of shopping. I had like olives and tins of tuna and biscuits and all that. And I actually gave most of mine away to the poorer guys, and they were worse off than I was. They were living in hostels and so on. I didn't have much of mine. I ended up going to the soup kitchen quite often, right? And it was coming up to Christmas. And I actually offered to help the lady in the kitchen. So what's happened? Yes. Can you hear that wind? I've actually got a really good microphone. It shouldn't be interfering too much with the wind, actually. Can you hear the wind? Because usually in Edinburgh you can't hear the wind over my microphone. Let's see if the cover's pulled out. Good to see that. I've pulled the cover back over the mic. It's not even that strong a wind. I can hear the wind. Here, I turn this way. It stops. Difficult to hear with all that does. So the microphone's not working as well as it in Edinburgh over here. That's bizarre. That's quite a unusual scenario. Yeah, I'm having to face away from the wind. Again, it's like Scotland. The strong wind comes from the west. So we're having to walk backwards now. And yes, so I offered to work in the soup kitchen. And at first they looked at me a bit as if I was a bit dodgy. And basically it was just a way to put something back, you know, because they'd fed me and didn't even ask me who I was. So I ended up volunteering in the soup kitchen. Are you walking backwards? Yes, I'm walking backwards to try and hide from the wind. I can't believe the wind's actually interfering with this microphone, because it's nothing in comparison to the Edinburgh wind. 1 second, everyone. I'm just going to like stop here a second and see if I've got this cover pulled down, because you shouldn't be hearing as much noise. 1 second, everyone. I'm just going to make sure this microphone cover's on. How's everyone doing anyway? Let me know how we are. How's life, everybody? How's life in the fast lane? I know why. Do you know what? I know what it is. My microphone's not been connected. 1 second, everyone. I wondered why you could hear all that noise. My microphone's not connected. And it's refusing to connect. 1 second, everyone. Ah! 1 second, everyone. I've just had a thought. Oh no, that's it now. That should be it now. Can you hear me okay, everyone? Right, let me know how this is with the wind, right? Because I wasn't actually connected before. How can it be windier than Edinburgh? I wonder if it's this new app. Wow, that's much better now. Sorry about that, everybody. I really did wonder how people could hear the wind. Because I've got this microphone called Frank. But it turns out it wasn't even connected. It connected at the start of the tour. This is the first time I've used this app, so hopefully it will stay connected. Frank, the microphone's messing up on me. So hopefully I'll stay connected. What an absolute twat, aren't there? Oh well. There we go. You can tell the locals and tourists. Lynn, you can tell the locals and the tourists. Locals dressed in long trousers and sweatshirts. Saviour. No, it's actually about 24. Can you hear the wind just now, actually? Because the wind is the same as what it was before, but now the microphone's connected? No. Perfect, right, okay, so that's what it was then. The microphone wasn't connected. Okay, cool. Oh, here's some yoga people going on. Nice restaurant here as well. It's nice and quiet now. Yeah, so that's better. At least now we've got the microphone connected, so you can see a nice restaurant here as well. So again, the food here is quite nice. Some of you follow me on Facebook as well. I've been posting some of the pictures of the food. Spain's obviously famous for vegetables, seafood, Spanish omelette, tortilla, chorizo, going for a pina colada. Pina colada. Yeah, I might go on the way back actually. Looks a bit posh for the likes of me, right enough. Looks a bit posh. Yeah, I'm in on NH San Pedro. The last time I was here, I stayed in NH Marbella. And now I'm in NH San Pedro, and it's quite good. You know what they do? See, if you don't want your room cleaned, you just put a sign up on your door, right? And you get a free drink in the hotel. You get a free drink if you don't get your room cleaned. And now, the only reason I need my room cleaned is to change the towels. Well, because I'm on my own, I've got a twin room, and obviously you get enough you get enough towels for 2 people. So I don't need my room cleaned, as long as I've got enough toilet paper. What is the money? Yes, euro. They use euros here. So we're about 3 hours from the UK here to Malaga Airport, and unfortunately, when Marbella's always the last place that you go. You know, when they get a transfer on the coach, Marbella's always last, because right next to the airport of Malaga is Torremolinos. Then you've got Belmadna, Fungirola, Mijas, Calahonda, Marbella, Portabanús, and then San Pedro. So I'm always last to get dropped off. Sorry, I missed it. Yeah, toilet paper. If I need toilet paper, I'll just get that replaced under. Sorry, I missed it there. Yeah, do you know, the last time I flew, it took me 3 hours to get through the airport, right? But we arrived during the day. But because it was a late flight, we didn't arrive till like 11 o'clock. There was no queue, so we just breezed through. You have to get your passport stamped now because Britain's not in the EU anymore. So yeah, unfortunately we got taken out of the EU's little small playground here. Seems to be some mothers and all that sitting there. There's people swimming in the sea actually. Cinco de Mayo! Yeah, they have big celebrations here. The Cinco de Mayo, the 5th of May. I don't think the sea's too clean here, to be honest. Spain's a bit dodgy for releasing sewage into the sea. Basically, the Mediterranean's a toilet. So there we go. Look at this. So obviously, these houses down here are quite expensive. The closer you are, it's like anywhere in Spain. The closer you live to the beach, the more expensive the property is. You've got a little outdoor gym here for the old gents, or for anybody, I suppose. I got pulled up going through the airport as well. I had 2, you know, these portable battery packs you get for keeping your phones charged. Well, because I'm going away with my gimbal and my phone, I've got 3 phones, 2 power packs. I've got about 6 sets of different cables. I've got my gimbal. And of course, they've looked through the X-ray in my rucksack and seen all these like batteries and cables. They thought I was a terrorist. So I got pulled up. I got pulled by customs and searched. The last time I got pulled for not emptying my water bottle, I've got a refillable water bottle, and I got pulled for not emptying it. So it seems to be every time I go into the airport nowadays, I get pulled up. See, have you got little things for washing your feet here as well? They thought I was making a bomb, probably. Then, like, oh, all these cables and battery packs, 3 phones. It's like, why do you have 3 phones? I said, oh, one's not got a SIM card. It's just for filming. In fact, look here, here's a camper van, look. So, see here. Right, so here. What happened was, so in Spain, right, I was about to leave Spain. After I got the sack from the restaurant, I'd met a Dutch guy, and he lived in Breda, in the Netherlands. And he says, if you come to the Netherlands, I'll give you a job. He owned a scaffolding factory. Yeah, nice doggies. See the camper van, that reminds me of home. And I was still living in my camper van, but I joined a gym in Benalmadena. And I'd made up my mind to go to the Netherlands at the weekend. And so it was a Friday. And I came out, there's 3 English newspapers here. Obviously, there used to be lots of English living down the coast of Spain, south coast of Spain. And in the newspaper was an advert for a job, for a magazine. Come down for an interview on Saturday. So I went for the interview on the Saturday. These 2 English girls, both very rich girls, who obviously had got investors and they'd put money into this English luxury lifestyle magazine called Cachet Magazine, which was absolutely stunning. And basically they offered me the job straight away. They said, start on the Monday. Now this magazine was it only came out every 2 months. Hey, Sir John. Yeah, this English magazine called Cachet, I got a job for it, right? And my job was to deliver the magazines. Well, the magazine only ever came out every 2 months. And so for weeks I had nothing to do. It was great. So then they started sending me to restaurants, like to review restaurants or take photographs. And I used to get paid to go to nightclubs and review them. Can you believe that? I used to interview people. I became a published photographer and a published journalist. I wrote an article in the magazine about Leith, my hometown. Can you believe that? I've went from living in my camper van to working, blagging it for an English luxury lifestyle magazine. I used to get paid to party. I got a brand new van and everything. And do you know what I done once? It's a brand new Renault Kangoo van, cost £15,000. And I was driving down the road and I seen this really hot girl, right? And I've turned round to look at her. I mean, she was absolutely stunning. Well, you know what? I crashed the car into the curb. And typical in Spain, the curbs are really low. This curb happened to be a really high curb. And I burst the tyre. I burst the tyre on the vehicle. I'm like, how am I going to explain this to the 2 bosses, right? Well, the 2 bosses were partners. They were lesbians. And they couldn't have kids, right? So their first love was their dog. She goes, oh, I done, I lied. I phoned them up and I says, oh, I've crashed the van. Well, how did you do that? I says, I had to, a dog ran out in front of me and I had to swerve to avoid hitting the dog and I crashed into the curb. Oh, you done the right thing there, Paul. I'm glad you never killed the dog. I got away with it. Look at this. Our taxi's expensive here. I've got no idea. I can't remember actually. No, a lot cheaper than the UK. I don't know where you are. But there you go. See the nice seahorses there, carved into the trees. Yeah, I got away with it, man. The 2 girls. Oh, you done the right thing. I'm glad you never got the dog. It's like, now there's something else. Right. And then they said to me one weekend, they says, Paul, oh, Cheryl, you hope you don't watch this. You know what? One of them died. Rachel, they married each other. The 2 girls married each other, right? Beautiful girls. And they married each other, right? And you know what? I was waiting at the airport to collect them one night. She was flying from Barbados. I got promoted to global distribution manager. They were going to launch the magazine in Barbados and Dubai and London. And I got given the job of worldwide distribution manager, right? And I was waiting on my boss coming back from the Barbados at Malaga airport. And you know what happened? She was only about late 20s and she collapsed and had a brain aneurysm. She nearly died, right? And it turned out she had a brain problem. And she was given like a couple of years to live. She managed to live about 10 years. because her parents were millionaires and she got the best of treatment. And yeah, so she actually died about 3 years ago. It was devastating. Devastating for the girls. And you know what they said to me one day? They says, Paul, we've got one of our investors. He's a millionaire. Would you like to work for him? You might have to drive a Lamborghini or a Mercedes or something like that. And I'm like, are you kidding? You want me to drive an Aston Martin or a Mercedes? I arrived here in a Volkswagen camper van. I used to drive up beside Ferraris and all that, right? We're Marbella, just all the gangsters. I used to drive up beside Ferraris and all that and like rev my engine like really loudly and ask them for a race. I've got a Volkswagen camper van that's got 4 gears. It went from 0 to 60 in 2 weeks. And I'm pulling up beside all these Ferraris asking them for a race. They just used to laugh at me. And so there it was. So the next minute I've got to go and work for this millionaire. It turns out he's an English guy. And you know what he gave me? I had to drive this Mercedes Jeep. It was worth about £150,000. It's got Sky TV. Live Sky TV in it, right? And you know what else had in it? Live. 2 porno channels. The guy was a pervert, man. He had 2 porno channels live into his car. Can you imagine? I just used to be out nightclubs for him. I used to be outside nightclubs till about 4 o'clock in the morning, right, and then take him home. And the very first night I worked for him, he gave me €600. €600. Can you imagine? What happened to the elephant? As soon as an elephant coming up. I don't know if the elephant's gone. Yeah, and I ended up working for him for about 5 months, paying me thousands of euros. Just driving. I used to take him to the brothels. He was a bit of a sex case, you know. There's lots of brothels down this way, sex workers. And yeah, he had a girl. Aye, I've seen the elephant. The elephant's still here. He used to have a girlfriend that looked like Liz Hurley. But he used to go and sleep with lots of sex workers too. That was his job. Do you know what he done actually on my birthday? It was my 40th birthday, right? And do you know what he done? He's took me to the sex club. He hired me to work that night. So he's took me to the sex club called Me Lady, right? Look at the elephant. And so we're having a drink at the bar and there's a DJ there. And do you know what happened? Next minute, 40 girls have came out. You did hear the word porno. 40 girls have came out, right? And the 40 girls were all sex workers. They were all stunning supermodels. They all started singing Happy Birthday to me. The DJ put on Happy Birthday on the track and 40 girls lined up and sang Happy Birthday to me. So I'm drinking Dom Perignon champagne and all these girls are singing Happy Birthday. I'm thinking to myself, where did it all go wrong? I won't tell you what happened next. It's a bit too graphic. And then he disappeared one day. He used to go to Barcelona, right? And he never used to take me with him. But he always knew Barcelona was one of my favourite places in Spain. And so what happened? It turned out he got arrested. In fact, Karen and Cheryl, who was it last year, remember? Remember I couldn't find out what happened to him? Because what happened was my boss got arrested in Barcelona, right? And he imported 175 kilos of cocaine from France into Spain. And then the trail goes cold, right? Turns out he was a cocaine baron. And I could not find out what happened to him. But when I done this tour last year, I think it was Karen and possibly Cheryl, I can't remember. They helped me find him. And he got 9 years in prison, didn't he, Karen? Was it Karen? Cheryl? Yeah, he got 9 years in prison. I never ever found out. I don't even know how you found that out. Because my trail went cold. I couldn't find out what happened to him. But yeah, he got 9 years in prison, but he had Crohn's disease, this guy. He was quite a large chap, shall we say. And he was used to living a life of luxury. So I don't know what happened to him. Cheryl, it was, it went cold after that. That's right. Karen and Cheryl, both of them are amazing, by the way. If you ever need a detective. There we go. And so, yeah, so I never ever saw him again. And then, so I tried to get he was going to go into business with me. See, they usually have the grilled sardines on the boat, man. No grilled sardines. We're going to do distribution. And because he disappeared and never came back, I was running out of money, And so I approached another magazine owned by a Scottish guy, just tentatively to see if there was a job going. And my boss found out and sacked me. in Marbella, the magazines they're kind of funny. They're very jealous. And so my boss sacked me. They took my van off me straight away. I'd been already under a few warnings, you know. And yeah, so I lost my job and I had no money. And then I ended up homeless again. So I arrived in my camper van, right? And you know what happened actually? On my first, I got an apartment in just about half an hour along from here when I was working for the magazine. And on the first night, somebody broke into my camper van and stole all my fishing gear. And so they broke the window, right? And I was working, so I had my van. So I wasn't using my camper van. And I kept on thinking I saw the curtains were getting moved. And so I went in one day, and somebody was lying in my van. A guy was lying in my van on my bed smoking a fag. And I'm like, hey, amigo, ¿qué pasa? I'm lying crazy, por favor. And it turns out he was homeless, living in my van, right? And it was just before Christmas. So I thought, right, I've been homeless myself, pal. I says, you can stay in my van. I says, but you must not steal my van. You must not steal anything. And also, do not smoke in my van. Right, so I went home to Scotland for 2 weeks. Oh, here's a helicopter. Right, let's go down to the beach, man. And yeah, so that was that. Oh yeah, so I'm just getting down this beach now, just trying to get a bit closer to the water. Yeah, so I ended up homeless, and I had to come back to Edinburgh. And then the second time I came, there we go, down to the water. Beautiful, man. So the second time I came here was in 2016. And again I ended up back in San Pedro. Look at this. Very nice. I think this is the end of the beach actually. I think we can walk too much further. It's restaurants along there. And you see how there's camper vans here. What I done was I came back, I was living in London. And I decided to try and make a new life in Spain, right? So I had another camper van, but I sold it. And I bought a 7-seater vehicle. And my intention was to come to Spain for the winter, work here for the winter, and then start doing tours. You know, like, because I had a 7-seater, so I could do transfers to the airport, could pick up golfers, I could do like day trips and tours and all that. I know the area quite well. And ended up, I got a job with this guy, and I paid him a few months' rent in advance. I got a good deal, right? And I ended up working for him. Well, on the very first day I worked for him, he started to like really shout badly at his wife. And I thought, this guy's a bit of a fruitcake, like, you know. And it turned out he was a really nasty character towards his wife and all that. And I had an argument with him one day and he kicked me out. I never gave him my money back, so I was living in my car. And then I ended up living in a tent, because living in a car isn't very good, right? Living in a camper van's alright, but living in a car's not very good. And so I ended up living in a tent. But you see here, this is where I used to come. I used to come down here in my camper van and in my car as well when I was staying in my car. I used to come down here. It's peaceful and quiet, you can see here. See, living in these camper vans would be great, right? See, if you've got that big camper van, you've got a toilet and a shower. Right, I never had a van like that. I had a van this size once. I had a toilet. But that was only ever had that in Scotland. I wish I had that in Spain, actually. You have a question about camper vans. Would you sleep with the doors closed? Well, see, that's a good point, actually. Somebody's asking about being stuffy, right? See, living in a camper van is great in Marbella until July and August comes. Because in July and August, it's too hot to live in a camper van. Because in July and August, people tend to go north. People who live in their camper vans. Because it's too hot. It's way too hot. It's brutal. And you know this, I never had any problem in my camper van. I never ever felt under threat. A couple of times I ended up having to park in a car park and all the boy racers coming and so on, but Yeah, I never ever felt under threat. I never got anything stolen, apart from my very first night I moved into a new house. That was the very first time I ever got anything stolen. It's incredible. And so yeah, this is where I used to come and sleeping in my car. And sleeping in a car isn't very comfortable, by the way, especially when you're 6 foot tall. So that's why I ended up buying a tent. So I got a tent and I was living in Estepona, right? And it was in December. And what happened was a really bad storm came and got a really big fright actually. I had to take shelter in my car. There was like major floods. It was like the worst floods in 30 years. Here's Bora Bora Beach Club. And actually 2 people got killed that night. A poor sex worker got killed in a brothel. She had actually came from South America and she was sleeping in the brothel until she got a house. And the brothel was in a basement area. And yeah, unfortunately, the poor died before the fire rescue people rescued her. And another guy got killed in his car. He just got caught in a tunnel and got flooded. And so I got a bit of a fright actually. So I thought I better go home to Scotland. And my sister had a house. She says I can go and live with her. So I went home and to stay with my sister. And then I had to leave there because she was getting, she couldn't afford rent back in Edinburgh. And then that's how I ended up in a temporary accommodation, a hostel. And that's when I found out about Invisible Cities. Invisible Cities are a social enterprise who train people affected by homelessness to become tour guides. So that's how I am today. So it's been a complete circle. It's been a complete circle. And 18 years ago I came here. I've been living here off and on, coming here off and on for 18 years. And it's a place close to my heart now. I'll probably come here every couple of months and do tours. Sorry about the signal. So don't just stick to the main resorts. Maybe consider a little day trip to San Pedro. It's a beautiful little place. Well, it's not the most salubrious, don't get me wrong. But it's quite nice on the beach, you know what I mean? It's lovely down here. It's very safe as well, very family orientated, and very friendly for dogs. Journalists here a couple of weeks ago, I had some Dutch journalists on my train spotting tours in Edinburgh, and the guy offered to write my book. The problem is, right, I didn't go to school. I only went to high school for 2 years. So, like, my grammar is terrible, sentence structure isn't very good. But I can talk okay, but a Dutch journalist offered to ghostwrite my book for me. So, yeah, I'd like to write a book. Because a lot more went on as well, which I've not went into in too much great detail, but yeah, I've got loads more I could say as well, you know. But obviously this might not be the right platform for it anyway, but I hope you've enjoyed the tour, everybody. I can hire a flanky clear. I can hire a ghostwriter. Yeah, well, this Dutch journalist said he would do it for free. I'll get him to do it. It's nice to be here instead of Edinburgh. Edinburgh is a bit cold and windy sometimes, shall we say. So it's nice to come here and enjoy getting some vitamin D, chilling out, drinking beer, eating some food, you know. Does anybody have any questions you would like to ask me before I go? I'm going to head off now. I'm going to start thinking about some food. But if anybody has any questions, anybody wants to know anything, thank you very much, Cheryl. Was I able to sell my camper van? Yeah, do you know what happened to my car, actually? Well, there's a good point. Well, I was living in my car, and what I'd done was I put it to Malaga Airport, right? In the parking, because all my goods were in it. Everything I owned. Everything I owned was in my car. Everything I owned was in my car, right? And I left it at Malaga Airport with the intention to go back. And you know what? I never got to go back, so I lost everything I owned again. I've been homeless about 12 or 15 times, and I've lost everything I've owned about 6 or 7 times as well. So yeah, I lost everything I owned. Devastated about it. It's just one of these things, you know. You can't let it. I mean, I've had all these opportunities as well in Marbella. I worked for a chauffeur for a millionaire. I got paid hundreds and thousands of euros. I was wearing Armani suits, but I've been homeless here 3 times. But I've had highs and lows, you know, highs and lows. And I've had lots of opportunities to do things that I might never have had if I wasn't homeless, you know. So The signal's a bit dodgy here, actually. Does the sea have a strong current here? It's not too bad here, actually. I'm on the up now. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Never ever feel sorry for me in any way, shape or form, you know. I always say that when I do talks about homelessness and so on. I always tell people, don't feel sorry for me. I don't do this for people to feel sorry for me. You know, I might have never had these opportunities. I mean, imagine getting paid to go and eat food. I got paid to go and eat. I got invited to a 10-course Michelin star tasting menu, a Michelin star restaurant in Spain with a 10-course seafood menu with a different wine with each course. And it was the first time in my life I'd ever heard of dessert wine. The guy says, you've got a wine to match each course. And it came to the dessert, and the guy says, here's your dessert wine. And I was like, dessert wine? I says, what the heck is that? So there you go, everybody. Thank you so much for coming on my tour. Please join me on Sunday and we'll take you for a tour of San Pedro. Exactly, Annette, I won't be here now. I've come a full circle, I'm now doing this virtually. So yes, it's amazing, man. So thank you very much for joining my tour. Bear in mind, this is a tip-based platform. Please leave a tip if you can do so. If you cannot afford to do so, do not worry. Share some postcards. Follow my channel up there. And take care. See you soon, everybody.